And welcoming into the studio, Greg Hawkes. Greg Hawkes, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Glad to be here.
Greg Hawkes of the Cars. My Lord, we're going to do a lot of stuff tonight.
Okay.
We're going to play some demos.
Yep. I brought a lot of tapes.
We're going to play some B-sides. We're going to play some something. We're going to talk currently about what you're working with, and you're working with Feet of Clay and all this kind of stuff. This is great. So let's bring folks up to date. You're most famous for your work, of course, as a keyboardist and instrumentalist for the Cars. Did you originally start out in that particular area with the Cars, or was it another area that you were with?
No, it was keyboards.
It was keyboards primarily.
Yeah. You know, the year before the Cars, I played in a band with Martin Mull.
Really?
Strangely enough, even more Cars prehistory. And I played like clarinet and saxophone, novelty instruments.
Right. Because I was going to say on the Milkwood album, which was a Rick and Benjamin thing, you did some saxophone work on that too, didn't you?
Wow, you know your history then if you know the Milkwood record. Actually, that's one that like probably neither Rick nor Ben will acknowledge its presence. Yeah. Well, you know,
it was something they did way back. Was it in the early 70s or mid 70s, something like that?
Yeah, it was 70.
Okay, right around that area.
You know, that's the first time I met each of them.
Really?
Yep.
And apparently Apparently you hit it off well. How long after that did you then hook up with them to do, do the Cars thing?
Boy, it was another 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I sort of kept in touch with them, and it sort of seems like I ended up being on about every demo that Rick and Ben did after that.
Yeah, because wasn't it what was the name, Captain Swing and things like?
I wasn't. No,
I wasn't in Captain Swing.
No, I was in a band with the two of them just previous to Captain Swing called Richard and the Rabbits.
Oh yeah,
that Jonathan Richman gave us our name.
Oh my God. He's coming up as a night stage, coming up the 6th, 7th, and 8th, and that's coming up this week. This week, I guess, right?
Well, that band dissolved, and that's when I sort of went off to the Martin Mull thing for a year. And
what was that like? That must have been really interesting.
That was yeah.
Was that Martin Mull and his fabulous furniture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a funny business. That's all I can say about that. He's a funny, clever guy, though.
Oh yeah.
Smart guy.
Very, and he's now on all these TV sitcoms and stuff like that.
That's right. He's on the. What's the show with Roseanne's?
Right. The Jackie Thomas show.
Yeah.
It's funny. He plays a funny character on that. So, all right. So anyway, you had kept in touch with Rick and Ben and people like that. And how did the Cars? What was the story behind as they got together and things? Where they worked on stuff and what the concept was and.
Well, let's see. I mean, it sort of came together as the Captain Swing situation dissolved, and sort of there were some remnants from that. Elliot was in that band, for instance.
Wow! So there we have almost all the members.
So almost everybody is there by then.
Yeah.
And then David was in the Modern Lovers before that. And so I don't know. We just tried to be sort of as modern a band as we could be, I think.
Well, because like the Milkwood thing was more of a. Was it more?
Yeah,
folky?
It was like a folk record,
folky kind of thing, right? And so the direction turned toward the modern kind of sound. Was it? I don't know if it wasn't punk as new wave. What was? That kind of situation.
For lack of a better word, new wave will fit the bill.
Right. And so you guys went in and did some demos. Now, where was it that the demos were done at?
These particular demos were done at a studio in Maynard, Massachusetts called Northern.
That's right.
Which I believe is no longer in existence.
That's right. The studio is no longer in existence, but if you cruise down Main Street, which I think it's not Route 62, but it might be, you'll see. You'll see the logo still up there, Northern Sound or something like that. And it was up in that building that you guys did all those things.
Yeah.
Wow.
And these tapes are live to 2-track.
Live to 2-track.
Yeah.
And were these tapes the ones that caught the attention of the record label?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah. This first one I think we're going to play is Just What I Needed.
Okay.
And it got radio play for up to a year before the first record came out.
And was it pressed on vinyl, or was it just available on tape, or what?
Just available on tape.
Really?
In fact, not even. It was only the radio stations were playing it.
Right, okay.
You couldn't buy it.
You couldn't buy it, so just the stations. We were talking, while the song was playing, as to what your source was, because like the stuff was just on a tape and then given to radio stations, right?
Yeah. And they would make, I guess, like an 8-track cartridge of it at the time, right?
They do one of these things here.
Yeah.
Which, of course, you at home can't see. It's like a cartridge, like an old 8-track kind of thing. And they would transfer from the cassette to do that.
Yeah.
But wow, that sounds surprisingly good for 15 years. Now, we just took that off of DAT because you transferred them over. Right?
Yeah, but my source, like I said, was my original 15-year-old cassette that I got that day that we did the sessions.
No lie.
Yeah, so I tried to, sparkle it up a little bit, but
that's wild.
That's basically it.
So you guys did, what did you say, 10 or 11 songs?
10 or 11 songs.
In one session?
Yeah.
In one session.
I believe so, yeah. Just sort of got a balance of the instruments, and then do your repertoire.
Now, had you guys been playing out before?
Yeah, we'd been playing out for a while. I can't quite remember when. These demos were done in 1977. I know that that much I know.
Right.
Exactly when, I would probably guess like spring or early summer. And we'd been playing out sort of like since January, or in my case, February of 77.
Right. So you guys had some kind of a groove going with each other, as far as like what was happening, and that probably allowed you to be able to do these things live. I mean, like with no overdubs and things like that.
And really, I mean, when you listen to the versions that ended up on the first record, the arrangements are pretty much there already.
It's just a slightly fatter sound, basically. Is all it is,